Everybody loves the rags to riches story, right? Because people can relate to it, right? But I was born into a poverty family. Like my parents, my mom didn't work. She went to school pretty much full time. My stepdad was making 12, 13 bucks an hour. My real dad was gone, left when I was 3, came back when I was like 13. There's 2 ways that you can look at that, right? So one, you could take the things that you see on a daily basis, right? So, I learned work ethic by watching my stepdad call out of work or my mom not work, right? I learned how to be a good human by watching other people be bad. Either become the thing that you hate the most or don't become the thing that you hate the most.
When was that exact moment when you realized that real estate was your way out and was a chance for you to rewrite your own family legacy as well?
I like that question a lot. I didn't know. Like, I was in the car business. I was running 4 dealerships. I had over 60 employees, running 25 salespeople. I enjoy real estate. Real estate as a traditional sales agent, I enjoy it to a degree. Real estate investing is really what I'm passionate about, because you kind of create your own income, you create your own opportunities, Sure, you got to go out and hustle and find it, hunt and kill it, drag it home, but at the end of the day, you get to decide what you make on that deal.
The code to winning: insights you need today to seize the world tomorrow. If you are interested in learning about real estate development, investing, I have a person right now who is very experienced in the field. He's also a coach, he's a founder, above all, a father and husband as well. So this is going to be a very, very enlightening interview. So if you are specifically interested in learning a lot about in the real estate space, pay attention. This is going to be a very, like I say, educational, very informative interview. Without further ado, the man himself, we have Matt Chick.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me, man. I'm jacked. I'm excited, dude.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, boss. One of the things I do love about people, I think you and I discussed earlier on before we started, everyone somewhat's got a story.
Everybody.
And I know you just shared something briefly.
Yeah.
You started speaking about Christianity past, being an atheist and finding God. But obviously, you mentioned that your past was filled with hardship and poverty. How did that shape your hunger for success in real estate?
Man, it's so I actually get that question a ton, right? Because everybody loves the rags to riches story, right? Because people can relate to it, right? But I was born into a poverty family. Like my parents, my mom didn't work. She went to school pretty much full time. My stepdad was making 12, 13 bucks an hour. My real dad was gone, left when I was 3, came back when I was like 13. But I think there's two ways that you can look at that, right? So one, you could take the things that you see on a daily basis, right? So, I learned work ethic by watching my stepdad call out of work or my mom not work, right? I learned how to be a good human by watching other people be bad, right? Does that make sense? So it's like poverty, when it comes to creating money and finances, it was like there's only 2 paths here for me. It was either stay in poverty, stay broke, stay exactly how I was raised, or go create something out of life, right? And it's you either stay exactly where you're at, or you get to go build something. And for me, it was I didn't like where I was at. I hated being broke. It's probably why I did stuff that I did to make money at an early age. And I just hated being poor. I hated it. I hated it with a passion. So I knew that wasn't for me. And for me, it was like, okay, I'll go do whatever I need to do to make sure that I'm not poor, to make sure that I have money. So that for me, it was like take the lessons I've learned from my parents that weren't good lessons and turn them into positives, right? So either become the thing that you hate the most or don't become the thing that you hate the most. So for me, it was I turned away from it. Not everybody's that lucky though. Like some people fall into the same trap, the same things, the same lessons, and they become the same identity that they've had their entire life, right? So it's through personal development, self-growth, and all those things, right?
And that's an easier way as well,
Yeah.
You're just used to it, you're accustomed to it, you're surrounded by it as well. So
man, we've been broke multiple times, bro. Like I've taken a ton of risk in life, and I've lost money and made money, and so there's times, but you're right. Being poor, I'm scared of it, but I know that I can get through it. It does create a resilience in you. If you know what it's like to boil water on a stove to take a bath, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Some people can relate to that, some won't. Like, or, we've had potatoes or eggs. I can't eat eggs to this day because we had so many eggs growing up because they were cheap. So like they're not cheap anymore, but like they're not cheap anymore.
Yeah, that's billionaire status.
Yeah, I know. So it's just like you just get conditioned to those things that you just don't want to be that way anymore. So for me, it was good. it pushed me to want to go create something that's worth having.
One of the things I noticed as well from people I've interacted with, those that are still trying to find their path, usually those that had that poverty background, there's a level of anxiety and anxiousness.
Yeah.
It's like the fear of, I don't want to go back there, to the point where they're willing to do anything, kind of thing. Did you ever have like that?
I still have anxiety to this
Okay.
day. Yeah, for sure. Like anxiety is a real thing for me. I've just learned how to use anxiety as a superpower, right? So like before, anxiety would stop me. It would worry me. I'd stay up at night. It would be challenging. I couldn't sleep. My wife's the only thing that could calm me down. Thank God for her. But now I look. Anytime I'm anxious, it's because I'm not taking action. So now anxiety puts me into action. So the thing that's creating the anxiety, if I can take action towards it, then it doesn't, as long as I'm going to go do something. Like if I'm worried about raising a couple $100,000 or, raising money for a project that we have, or a house that we just closed and we got to start construction, or whatever the thing that gives me anxiety, I'll just go work on it. And if I can't work on it, I've learned not to worry about it.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And when was that exact moment when you realized that real estate was your way out and was the chance for you to rewrite your own family legacy as well?
I like that question. That's a lot. I like that question a lot. I didn't know. Like I was in the car business. I was running 4 dealerships. I had over 60 employees, running 25 salespeople, and I freaking loved it. Fast paced, closing people, sales, high energy, sales environment. It was built for me, but my wife hated it. I was working 6-7 days a week, 12, 14, 15 hours a day. I had 2 kids. Getting ready to have my daughter, and my wife just hated it, right? So she kind of gave me an ultimatum of like, hey, I already raised 2 kids without you. You're never around. If I have to do it, I'm going to do it legit without you. She swears she didn't say that to me, but that's how I heard it.
Okay.
Sometimes we hear stuff. She's like, I didn't say that. I'm like, that's how I took it. So like it forced me to get into real estate. I had a buddy that was doing pretty well in real estate. I've been invested in real estate for about 20 years now. So I was flipping back when I was like 22, 23 years old, lost a bunch of money, and then was kind of just dabbling in it. So I was just like, man, screw it. Let's go. I'm going to go full time and see what I can do. But became passionate about real estate once I found what the vehicle could actually do.
Yeah.
When you get in the beginning and you're just trying to survive, right? I went from making, $125,000 to $130,000 a year in the car business to no income, 30 grand in the bank. That 30 grand doesn't last very long. You know what I'm saying? So like it was out of necessity, 3 kids at home and a wife and 3 kids at home. I had to go perform. So I just worked it like a job. The next thing you know, you close a deal, you make 10 grand, you close a deal, make 15 grand. And then you're like, what can I really do? Right. And then you have no ceiling anymore. Car business, I was capped. I was never going to make any more money.
Yeah.
So
and as much as you can work so much, like you can just go so high, because it's still the same sales commission, sales bracket.
And you don't own it.
Yeah.
You don't own it. Eventually you got to own a piece of it. Maybe not all of it, but eventually you got to own a little bit of it if you want to generate real wealth, long-term wealth. And real estate does that. It allows you to own a piece of real estate or own business, or, even if you're a high-level salesperson closing 50 to 60 units a year, you're close to making $1 million in GCI.
Wow.
So like, it's just, it just kind of just shown to me. And then real estate in general, I enjoy real estate. Real estate as a traditional sales agent, I enjoy it to a degree. Real estate investing is really what I'm passionate about, because you kind of create your own income, you create your own opportunities. Sure, you got to go out and hustle and find it, hunt and kill it, drag it home. But at the end of the day, you get to decide what you make on that deal.
Oh, I love it so much. And so obviously flipping right now, it's become an ever so popular thing. And the problem is also trying to see through these fake gurus that just started like after COVID. The problem with life before and after COVID is that there's just more gurus that just started something for like a year or 2 that want to try and teach courses. And
you need zero proof that you've done anything in it, and you can go make money in it if you could teach it.
That's ridiculous.
It's true though. It's what it is, man.
That's ridiculous.
Social media has changed the game. You don't need if you have popularity, you have everything.
Which is even back then, popularity had to be earned, and right now it's just like you say one thing, go with it, and people just like follow the crowd as well. So people, even doing their due diligence, are like, "Well, I found out the guy was a fraud." I'm like, "But you just looked at his amount of followers as well." You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that's I feel like that's so hard to try and see through the right people. And I don't know what it is, but like the best way I've been connecting with high quality people is the fact that like my like surrounding is like quality as well. And I've noticed that people like Jake and Joe, because of how they are, I feel like sometimes you're also born with that natural discernment where you just
Yeah.
know like these people are just legit,
100%.
and it ends up rubbing off that.
100%.
It's so hard going through so many people. I'm like, this people aren't genuine. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's.
I'm sure you see it more than I do. I'm sure you see it a lot. You get to interview people, and it's like this is our first time meeting. You're either going to know I'm genuine or not by the end of it, right? I'm sure you see that a lot.
Yeah. No, they spoke really highly of
yeah.
you. They spoke really high, and I was excited.
I appreciate
about that,
those guys. Yeah, they're good people.
No, and I think so. When you started in flipping, what was the process of which you did that? Was it like, did you have to get the right credit score? Did you have to get the right lender? Did you have to get the right place? What was the first step that you kind of like?
Deal flow is everything. So if you can find the deal, you can find everything else, right? So we just got really, really good at finding the deal, right? So cold calling, bulk texting back when it was a thing, agent referrals, like we were just laser beam focused on finding deals. And then once I started finding deals, there was really only a couple ways I knew how to dispo the deal. It was either wholesale it or, fix it up and flip it. So once I figured out I didn't have enough capital to fix and flip, I started raising capital, made a top 25 hit list. I have a buddy of mine that was doing CrossFit at 11 a.m. during the day. And I'm like, either his wife supports him or he has money. Because if you're working out in the middle of the day, you're either working at night or something, but he seemed pretty well to do. So we just started hitting that hit list and started pitching. And I was pitching people on what we were going to do, not what we've done. Right. So it was all like, hey, here's my vision. Here's what it looks like. Here's a model. Here's what I'm thinking. And dude, we had 2 meetings. One meeting, we raised $1 million and started flipping. One guy. Yeah. He believed in it. The original ask was only for $60,000 because I wanted to spend money on ads. So we were going to wholesale everything. We were just going to wholesale everything. And then this guy was like, hey, I'll come in and bring some money. And then in the very beginning, we were giving 30% of our profit away to him. Yeah. He would carry the house, carry the rehab, 30%. And then as you start scaling, you realize buying houses with 100% cash is an absolute mistake because your scalability is low. Like, if your average asset is $400,000, $4 million doesn't go that far. It's hard to scale, right?
Yeah.
So then we started using hard money with a combination of private money, went and raised about $7.5 million. Have nowhere near that in the street anymore. But, right now we stay pretty lean right now. But we've done, 155 deals over the last 4.5 years, something like that.
What advice would you give? Because I've only experienced this thing like recently where obviously I'm going to be heading towards like event space because I've been connecting with some of the top podcasters as well. So it's something that is in work in progress. And it was shocking to me when I actually had investors approach me and I'm like, gosh dang, I've only been doing this thing and to see the potential, it's mind blowing. But for people out there, you were so successful the first go. What advice would you give those that are trying to do funding and try and get investors on board?
Yeah, when you sell anything, you sell the future. When you sell a business, you sell the future. You got to show where you're currently at and that you're a viable business, but you always sell the future, right? This is what you could do with it if you come along on the ride with us. So raising capital is no different. This is what we could do if you come along on the ride with us. You're a key instrument in it. I'm going to go raise, 15, 10, 15, 20 million bucks or whatever it is. Then you gotta create your hit list of people that you're gonna go after that potentially have the money, and then you're gonna go either is it private equity or is it gonna go big bank equity stuff, and that's a whole nother realm. I have no clue. 100% of my money is private. It's all people that I know. None of it's like bank. We have hard money lenders that will lend on the deals for us. It's all people that I've made genuine relationships, handshake deals. Wow. I raised $7.5 million on a handshake. Didn't have no contracts.
Unbelievable. Yeah. That tells a lot about someone's character. Because right now, it's just so sad with how much less trust people just have within people, and it's because there's many gurus that have ruined the industry. In everything people have done, and I think just having that and just handshakes and still being afloat right now, it tells a lot about someone's character as well. So
we lost in 2022 when the market blipped. We lost close to $500,000 of investor money. And then so I started calling all my investors, letting them know where we're at. We only had a couple investors at the time. One guy, my main guy, he took 100% of the loss. And then I took 2 years and I paid him back. I think we have a balance of, $80,000 with him still currently. But
wow.
We kept doing deals and I didn't take $1 from it. I lived on my savings while I paid him back. Because that was the right thing to do.
And you know what? Many investors would say, sorry, man, the risk that's involved kind of thing.
100%. I had people legit at me tell me, hey, dude, You knew what the risk was. Like you don't need to do that. I go, no, I do, because it was on a handshake. There's no flipping way I would walk away from that. Not one.
Wow.
No. And we still own 3 houses together. That's got another $1 million locked up in it. That once we sell them, we'll get them back.
Wow. Now, I love stories like that. And then what would you say, somebody right now watching this thing, because I've had a lot in like real estate as well. In your opinion, what would you say is the best way for somebody to start in the space? Would you say like the Airbnb arbitrage, the investing?
No, dude, I suck with the short-term rental game, residential retail, like residential rentals. I absolutely hate them.
And that field is also kind of sailing. Would
I
you say?
hate
'Cause
them,
I feel like
dude.
after COVID, it's kind of going downhill a bit.
I mean, if anybody follows like the big sub-2 guys and all that stuff, like that's how you buy. That's how you do it now. Like the day of putting 20% down on a $500,000 house, putting $100,000 down to get $400 or $500 a month in positive cash flow is absolutely ridiculous. Like nobody should ever do that in my eyes. No, other people are going to tell me I'm crazy. I know a lot of people that do that, but it just doesn't excite me. I'm still in a very big place of like, I like creating active income. I'm not necessarily chasing the passive income currently. So I like active income, wholesale, fix and flips, novations, that kind of stuff. Our residential retail team, we got 27 pending deals currently right now. So like active income is where I'm at because I'm still trying to build.
I only recently learned about novations like last year, and the concept of it is just so fascinating to me, Because can you explain to the viewers what novation is as well?
Yeah, novation, I mean, it's really just a fancy term to say that you're replacing one contract with another.
Exactly.
That's it.
It's such a beautiful concept.
Yeah, it's it. You're literally taking your purchase, you have a purchase contract on the house, and then you have, the ability to, like, we use an attorney in fact document. We're allowed to then list the property, on the MLS, find a retail buyer, find that, and then create a spread, and then invoice for the difference, right? So we have to invoice for the difference once a lender gets involved. It's just unique, dude. It's just a unique beast. We don't do them in Arizona. We only do them in states that we're not licensed in. Our broker really didn't like us doing them here. And because we're licensed real estate agents, like our broker didn't really love it. So I would either hire another broker to list the house. We wouldn't list the house here ourselves, or we just focus when we were like doing more stuff out of state in Georgia, Florida, and Texas.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
No, I really like that. And and I think the whole like a recurring in generation. I'm getting the sub-2 guys. One of them I'm getting tomorrow.
Cool.
And then I'm coming back for Pace, like I think next month as well.
Yeah, he's a stud, dude. I like Pace a lot.
Again, it's like sometimes I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just being biased because he's a member of the same faith that I am. But like sometimes like it's people like you, like him, where you could just sense like they don't want to rip people off. They just genuinely want to help people. Because I was reading a thing because he was doing a thing where he helped the homeless woman like get like a thing. Yeah. And the comments are like, well, why'd you have to show it? I'm like, he's just showing out the possibility of what can be done.
Teach a man to fish, he eats forever.
Teach
a woman how to fish, she eats forever. She never has to be. She never has
you
to be
won't get
hungry
canceled.
again.
I promise you.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying that's the philosophy. He did more for her, teaching her how to do that, than he could have ever with writing any kind of amount of check.
I couldn't agree more. And it's the concept, I think, which stands by with capitalism at the end of the day. Because if you know that there's potential and you're not capped, and you're not like subjected to be able to reach a certain level, you can actually reach that much potential. I remember coming here in the US. I don't know if you hear the accent, but I'm originally from South Africa.
Okay.
But coming here 2017 with my old mission companion from like the church, and I served a service mission, and then I just started seeing like the employment rate was like 3%, but then it's not the 3%, it's the fact that if you know, in Utah's got a very door-to-door sales industry. Everyone knocks doors, comes back, does an investment on like a duplex or something like that, and like starts building wealth at a super young age. And I think seeing that from like, a foreigner's perspective or an immigrant, it's like, what the heck? Like what's possible here? You know what I'm saying? And then you hear the story that 99% of millionaires, like wealth comes from real estate, and you start realizing there's so much potential, but it's about doing the right deals, doing right to people, and making sure you're in the right trajectory. Because you can only easily get rich by scamming people as well, you know. So integrity comes along with it. Would you want to add on that as well?
Yeah, take the right risk. I always, like we have the, I call it the 10 commandments of wholesaling, right? And one of them is it's not a deal till it's a deal. And a lot of people, when they first get into real estate investing, they're trying to force deals. So it's like, really know your numbers, know what you're capable of, buy it right, fix it up right. Don't overrun your rehab, don't overrun your holding costs. Right, those are the little things that matter. It's like really just pencil a good deal, right, and then make sure that you execute properly. I think a lot of people get excited about investing in real estate, especially in the flip space, and it's actually a recipe for disaster in my eyes, right? Because like if you're too excited about it, you're trying to force it. You think you can push ARV, you think you can push what you're going to sell it for, you think you're going to be the next best sale in the neighborhood, and right now in the market conditions that we're currently in, it's just not true. Like right now, I'm budgeting 2 to 3 to 5% under what the last sold sale was before I buy a house.
Wow.
So I'm going to come out on the market 10 to 15 grand lower than the last sale because I want to sell my house quick because it's about turns. And then if I can buy it off based off that number, then maybe I get lucky and hit the market and I make an extra 10 grand. But you want to buy off of a not a lucky number. You want to buy off, I call it a cake number. So there's two numbers, a cake number and a push number. I buy off my cake number. My push number is what blue sky. If we get it, great. I'm excited. We made an extra 10, 15, 20 grand. If we don't, I bought it off my cake number and we still made 50,000.
That's powerful. And then would you say right now, if somebody were to try and start like a duplex, out of these two options that I want to talk about, would you say maybe getting a duplex and then renting one out, living on the other one? Or would you say I know Utah, what's very, very common, there's like basements where people end up like getting a home and then renting out the basement. Would you say those two would be a good way to
I think it's all just lifestyle. Like, is that how you want to do it? Like, sure. Like whatever you can, if you have the capability of buying a duplex, renting one and renting out the other, great. If that's an area you want to live and you enjoy that, and yeah, for sure, or a fourplex or whatever you can do. I think you just got to look at where you at and what can you currently do, right? And then you got to analyze what that looks like. What are you bankable? Do you have W-2 income that you're actually bankable? What can you approve for? And then you got to run the math. Right now, the cost of money is so freaking high. Even if you're a retail buyer and you're buying at 6.5%, 7% interest rate, your cost of money is pretty high. So are you actually going to cash flow that asset? Or do you have to sit on that asset for the next year and a half, 2 years till you can refi out into a cheaper money to where you actually start cash flowing? So you got to really look at all the variables, right? And then is that the life you want to live for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
No, it's powerful.
No, I think it's great. My favorite strategy is for people that like, if you're just a normal person that's not getting into real estate investing, but you want to make sure you're acquiring real estate as investments over time, over a lifetime. Let's say you're a W-2 employee, you got good income, and you want to just be in real estate. Buy a house, live in it for a couple of years, make it a rental. Buy a house, live in it for 2 years, make a rental. You do that for the next 10 years, you got 10 houses. Or you find a way to buy two every year for 5 years. You got 10 homes at $500-600 a month cash flow. You're at $5-6 grand a month. If that excites you, and then over time, that becomes a hell of a lot better, right? You know what I'm saying? Over time, it becomes better. 20 years, 25 years, your notes are starting to get paid off, or you got appreciation. Now you can pull money out of your properties, that aren't going to be taxed. So then it adds, something.
That's so amazing. And then what's the turnaround in flipping? Let's say you buy a home right now, you want to flip, and how many days is the turnaround before it ends up like flipping?
Every project's different. If you were to talk about like projects that I'm currently looking on, I want rehab to be somewhere between 45 and 60 days.
That's good.
Yeah, I want to be done in 8 weeks. So if we can be done in 60 days and back on the market, and I have 30 to 60 days of selling it, 30 to 45 days selling it, it gives me a 4-month turn to actually have it on the market and rehabbed, and then 30 days to sell. So I'm a 4 to 5 month hold process.
Wow. And that's when you get the cash just comes as soon as it's sold, obviously.
Sold, right. Yeah.
Okay. And then what would you say is like your first one, you said you made like 15K or 10K?
On which one?
The first flip you did.
First flip I did was, it was a home run. I did like 55 grand on that one. 60,000, something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, most of them were really good until about 22. In 22, I decided to scale, raised a bunch more money, had 21 projects going at once, and it just didn't work out.
And then are you also in the commercial space?
Not a ton. I'd love to be in it. We help people get into commercial, but we don't flip commercial. So
The
yeah.
commercial, but isn't the process a bit more unique and different?
Yeah, for
obviously,
sure.
as
It's
well?
different. And what I like about commercial, it's definitely more business, right? It's more business to business, right? So, but I haven't flipped commercial, so I don't know.
And do you have any commercial investments though?
No, zero. I'd be open to it though, for sure. That'd be a good lane. Yeah. What we're really looking at right now is specs. We're going to do some development specs. We're looking for land like out east, Queen Creek, Apache Junction. We're looking to do some specs. So I enjoy the flip game. Everything serves its purpose, but eventually you got to figure out like what is it good for, like annually, right? Like I know guys that are flipping 15 to 20 houses a month, and that's their business. And they're okay with some $15,000 profits, some $50,000 profits. My goal is to make 55 grand a house, or I won't do the deal.
Wow.
Right? So like if I can't make 40 to 55, then we just pass on the deal. And that's on an asset class of, 5 to 600,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then with that, in the flipping range, obviously every state has got like its own state laws and permits and stuff like
I'm
that.
sure.
You primarily just
Yeah.
do that in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't flip it. We flipped in Texas and it was a nightmare, but we don't flip in other states. We wholesale in other states.
You probably don't flip in California. That's worse as well.
Yeah, not interested at all. I found, dude, back, I used to.
I was provoking you. You fell
Yeah,
for
no, I'm out.
Sorry, continue.
I found probably about 3 years ago. I am that guy that has shiny object syndrome. I like different businesses. I like different ideas. I'm an idea guy. I'm more of a visionary than an executor. So like I enjoy daydreaming about big stuff.
Yeah.
And I just found that it just didn't serve me, man. So like about 3.5 years ago, I made a decision to just stay laser beam focused on what I'm good at and what I know. And now I just say no to everything else.
Wow.
So
it takes a
it's
lot,
just
especially
does.
knowing what your personality is.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of discipline,
Oh, I had a nail salon. We had a nail salon that we owned. We had like 6 or 7 different businesses. None of them were freaking crushing. They were all just a distraction from the thing that would actually make me money. So I just said, screw it, I'm out. Not doing it.
No, I love that. And I think, with this level of success, the trajectory that you've been on, I notice one of the things that most entrepreneurs that are successful as yourself have, there's a mentorship, people that like guided them throughout the way.
Yeah.
Did you have that for yourself?
Oh, yeah, I've paid so much for coaching. I'm literally I pay $6,000 a month for coaching right now with 3 different coaches.
Do you mind sharing them, or are you gonna...
Yeah, so Dustin Runyon, Alex Sheplak, and then I have a guy named Coach JD.
Okay.
So Coach JD is in California. Dustin Runyon runs a big real estate team here in Lake Havasu. Just a freaking beast of a man, big into development. He's raised, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars in money for development as a real estate team that does a ton of transactions. But he really helped me in just focus and clarity and what was important. He believes on taking, work on the person, and the person will develop the business, right? So we've worked more on the person rather than the business, and it just kind of goes. And then Alex Sheplak, he's my marketing coach, and then his wife Shannon Sheplak is my health coach. So I pay a ton for coaching. If you don't know the answer, there's, you can either go figure it out, or you could pay someone that's already been there. Right. So like, high level of accountability around what I want to do. So I tend to pay for coaches, and my coaches become my friends. And then I have amazing relationships with them all.
I've never ever interviewed a single person or came across a single person that has not invested in themselves or in coaching.
Have to. It's the most important money that you'll ever spend in your life.
Exactly.
It's a cheat code. I can pay someone, one of them I pay $1,000 a week. Another one I pay $1,250 a month. Another one I pay like $500 or $600 a month to. But like, literally, there are people that have done it. Like, so why? Like, now I just got to go execute it. And that's in a struggle in itself, right? Because if it's not a habit yet, you got to go, especially on the health stuff. Like if it's not a habit yet, you got to go figure out how to make it a habit. Business is no different, right? If you're not used to, banging the phones and make 500 calls a day, for you to go do it one day and then go do it for the rest of your life, you got to create that habit, right? So that's the important piece.
And I think another thing, I always see it as 2 components to it. One, yes, you're paying them to try and, like you said, cheat code, give you the path that can lead to your success, but also helping you avoid the mistakes that they did.
100%.
And then number 2, it's also you're holding yourself accountable. Now that I've paid you,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to act on it. Because how many things have I gotten for free that I'm like, I just put aside because it's for free. You don't value it as much. But if you pay, you're like, well, I pay you $1,000.
Yeah.
How am I gonna get my $1,000 worth of what it is?
Yeah.
So that's how I always see it, and I do the same thing right now. Like I go to many networking events. I find ways to try and find myself in the right room and ask questions. And
It's so important.
it's everything.
I've paid $1,000 for dinners because I knew people that were going to be there that I wanted to be involved with. I've paid thousands of dollars to go to events, but I was purposeful. Figure out who's going to be in the room, and then why do I want to be connected to that person? Then I was purposeful in making sure I connected with them when I was there. Like being strategic is not a bad idea.
I love it. Love it so much. I mean, from obviously going to selling about like 40 homes in your first year to leading one of Arizona's fastest growing teams, what would you say are those habits that changed from when you started to where you're at right now?
The habits, they're all the same, right? So like, it's work it like it's a job every day. Like I work this like it's a job for me, right? Even though I'm my own boss, I show up and I do the work that's supposed to be done to make sure I have what we have, right? So, but the number one thing to focus on ever when you're building a real estate team is recruiting. So the number one thing you should always do is always be recruiting. And I've had ebbs and flows in that. Like right now, my real estate team's smaller than it's been in a while because I took my foot off of recruiting, right? So today, I don't know, last week I recommitted to recruiting. I got a pipeline of 4 or 5 agents that are thinking about coming on board. So the work works, right? It's just do the same thing over and over. Something that's tough for me that it might be tough for a lot of people is the consistency in the thing that breeds you the result, right? It's always being willing to do the same thing over and over. Entrepreneurship is actually really boring. When you work for yourself, it's actually very boring because the boring things are what works, right? So like, and for guys, I like excitement. Like I thought chaos used to serve me, but chaos was ruining my results, right? The truth is the only thing that matters is doing the activity on a daily basis that breeds the result that you want.
Exactly.
Right? So if I know that recruiting feeds my business and I need 40 or 50 agents to get back to 100 million in production, then I got to go recruit every day. That means send 20 face talking messages to agents, congratulating them on closings, sending text messages, calling the school list. That means I have to go do those activities, or I got to hire someone to do those activities for me, right? So it's just being a real estate agent is no different. Being an investor is no different. If you want to be a real estate agent, it's 20 connects a day. Go talk to 20 people a day for the rest of your freaking life, for the rest of your life. As long as you're an agent, it's 20 people a day. That's the standard.
Yeah.
If you want to be an investor, then I would talk to 20 real estate agents a day and see if you can find deals. That's how I would network for the deals. Or you got to go spend money to find deals, or you got to cold call or door knock. Whatever the one thing is or 2 things are that you're going to go do, you got to do that for the rest of life, and you got to commit to it.
I love that. I love that so much. And but the problem that lies on this whole thing is the fact that yes, you did admit and say that entrepreneur can get boring. What happens? You know Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, right? The employee, small business, big business, investor is the fact that when people go from E to S, they get so in love with the idea of doing everything because there's a lack of trust and delegating. Like I want to do, which could lead to burnout. Also, it could lead to stagnation, but also leads to the fact that you just think that no one is good enough to do what you can do. And to some degree, it's because also people feel like they're investing so much in their own businesses that they feel like people can't be able to do that level. Have you ever struggled with that before?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm the guy that delegates everything. I have my old business partner. My old business partner explained me perfectly. I'm really good at step 1. I'm good at getting the relationship. I'm good at creating the opportunity. I'm good at step 1, and then step 2 through 99, I need someone else to do. That's just who I am. It's just who I am. So my partner today, he carries a lot of the heavy lifting with the retail side and production and all that. My job is to go create opportunities, invest in real estate, raise capital, and agent recruiting, right? So we just stay in our lanes. But you have to know yourself well enough. I didn't know myself well enough to do that. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So you have to know yourself well enough. And it's explained, and it describes me perfectly. That's why I don't take offense to it. I don't if someone goes, "Are you good at executing?" No, I'm not. I'm really good at building relationships. I'm good at getting stuff done at DEFCON 5. If it's at a point that it has to get done or it's going to blow something up, I'll get it done. But until it's DEFCON 5, I suck at getting it done.
Interesting. Now, and what's the hardest part about recruiting the right people? Because recruiting is, I mean, it's not that hard. You can get an ad out, you get a few people there, but the right people that see your vision.
Culture is everything, and then holding standards, right? Got to be able to hold standards, and culture is everything, right? So we really have 4 standards on our real estate meetings: 20 connects a day, show up to 90% of everything put on, clear your tasks every day, and the last one I have to cuss, but it's don't be an asshole. Okay, and what that really means is have a spirit of contribution. And this I stole this from Dustin Runyon and how he runs his real estate team. Those are literally his standards. The only one that he doesn't have is task done daily. I have one that all your tasks have to be done daily. And the spirit of contribution basically means, hey, in the beginning, people are going to pour into you. When you have a question, someone's going to answer. Sooner or later, you're going to have the answer to a question that someone else has. You're expected to give that answer. This isn't like we're here as a community and help each other to get where we want to go. And if that's not who you are to your core, then we're just not going to be the right fit. Because we give everything away for free. I'll help anybody anytime. Don't care. I have a couple of coaching clients now, that pay me. I invite them to the team stuff. I invite, not everything has to be paid for. There's a lot of stuff people get for free just from being in our world.
No, and that's so true. I couldn't agree more. Culture makes it or breaks like a whole team. And you've seen cultures that are just a little toxic. You've seen cultures that are super complacent where people don't see a vision. You see people that are like, oh, I just want to clock in and clock out as well, because you don't want to really be there. And are your sales reps, is it like a commission thing? Or
all of it, yeah.
Okay.
So we have about 12 people on staff that we pay, and then the rest are 1099 contractors. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is also hard in itself. It's actually easier to pay someone, and most people will work better when you're paying them as an employee. I have a freaking crazy concept of like 100% payrolled real estate agent team where everybody is on salary, and I think that we could do more business, because then you hold them accountable to the standard because you're paying them to do it, and most people would probably do it easier than they would do it for themselves. And I could pay them probably 30% less of what they would make as a regular agent just doing it on their own. Most people operate better as an employee. It's very rare to find someone that can operate to a standard, right? At least I haven't found it. It takes, you're going to, out of 10, you're going to find 2 or 3. And then you try to hope to God you keep the 2 or 3. That's what it is.
How's retention on your side?
We have an attrition rate of 30%.
Okay.
Yeah. Which we need to fix. It's industry standard for a real estate team.
Yeah.
But I would like it to be a lot less. And that's going to come down to culture. It's also going to come down to opportunities, and that falls on us, right? The bigger we can create the team, the more opportunities we can give agents, the bigger they could see a vision within staying. And those are our burdens, right? We have to make it so big that they never see themselves going anywhere.
Exactly. And also incentives and stuff like that, right? And seeing hey, listen, if I reach a certain target, this is what's going to be able to be there as well. Because
100%.
Real estate is it's a cycle, so coming with teams, coming and going is like, let's try that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
And most teams are a race to the bottom, like commission splits, brokerages are racing to flat fees, or, most of it's a race to the bottom on how cheap someone could be with you. But we don't prescribe to that.
And what do they do? Do they just do cold calls, or they find
No,
deals?
we have 5 lead gen levers that we focus on: Sphere, social media, open houses, leads, and then agent referrals.
Okay.
Those are our 5 lead levers.
Okay.
Yeah, super laser beam focused on what we do. Well, if someone comes in and plugs in and do what we tell them, they'll make money, guaranteed.
And what would you say is good in that field in making money per year?
Good. I know agents making $500,000, $600,000 a year.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I would say average agent, they all want to make 6 figures, right? That's the big. Anytime you interview a real estate agent, they want to make 6 figures. Is what it is. But if you get 20 connects a day, you'll make 6 figures for sure.
And I think that's one thing I like as well about real estate is that it's been consistent over the years and what the standard expectation is. Because with all these other industries, I was in the solar industry where it was slightly more than 6 figures, but then it's one of the booms that kind of go up and down. But insurance and real estate is one of the most consistent stuff over years and over time as well. And also the fact that I noticed that you strive to help a lot of entrepreneurs also make 6 figures, is you giving a realistic expectation rather than saying your first year you can make $30 million.
Yeah.
It's
no, I tell everybody, anytime someone says, "Hey, I want to make $100,000," I tell them straight up. I go, I don't know a bunch of businesses you can make $100,000 part time.
Yeah.
So if you're not willing to work 40 or 50 hours a week, then let's just get rid of the $100,000 goal. If you only want to work 20 hours a week, then it's going to be you know, you can probably go make 40, 50,000. You know, now I know people that have done it that have made multiple six figures. I know a good buddy of mine worked at the post office and he was doing 40 deals a year. That might be wrong, so don't quote me on that, but he was making well over in the six figures and running a real estate team and working at the post office. Guy was just an animal. Just a freaking animal.
Yeah.
Loved high energy, super fit. Dude was just an animal.
That's an anomaly, though. It's not a very common thing. It's not at all.
No, not at all.
What's the most painful investment that you've ever made, and what did it teach you? Oh, you actually, I think you may have mentioned it. The one you lost is that after COVID, but is that the most painful one?
No, I had if we're talking deals, like investment deal,
Yeah.
I would say I had a deal that I bought. We call them relationship deals. I was trying to get in a relationship with a guy. It was a deal that I typically don't buy sight unseen. So what I did is he had a house. I underwrote it. I didn't really necessarily love it. I asked him a bunch of questions on it. And I ended up saying, "Hey, dude, I'll buy this. I'll take this off your hands, but I want to see everything that you get. Like, I want to be a legit buyer for you." So I bought it, sight unseen. He told me I couldn't walk it, and I knew like I shouldn't have done that. Anyways, I bought the house. Rehab was only supposed to be $50,000. That's what I was told that it was going to be. Ended up getting red tagged by the city. The permit, the addition that was on it wasn't permitted. They made me rip it off. Redo it. So I ended up having to tear off like 600 square feet of this house, permit it, put 600 square feet on, do a full rehab. It cost me $145,000 when it was supposed to be 50 grand. So I was $100,000 over budget.
Wow.
Sold the house, and then I lost $142,000 on one project.
I'm a visual learner, you know what I'm saying? So I paint pictures every time people are talking, and right now that's like, oh my gosh, that's
lighting
like,
a bag of money on fire.
I need to get antidepressants for that.
Yeah, it's horrible. Man. It's horrible.
Oh yeah, and I think it's important because then you learn from these mistakes. And
I don't do it now.
One thing I can't stand is entrepreneurs that just have these success rates and success stories. I won all the time. Because when something does happen, when you're not prepared for it as well. But that was a lesson. Do you think it has helped you see things a little differently now?
I will say no if I can't walk it. If they decide you got to buy a sign and see, and I don't trust it anymore. And there's a lot of guys that do, and they're willing to take the risk. I'm just not that guy. If I can't walk it, cool, send it to someone else.
So you're risk averse, pretty much.
Yeah, so the way I underwrite deals now is I disqualify them. If I can't disqualify it, then it's a deal. I literally look at every deal on why it's not a deal now. Every deal. I don't even try to make it a deal. My only goal is to make it not a deal. And then if I can't do that, it's probably a deal.
Wow.
So I literally tear the deal apart.
And do you also focus on the residential side? Do you focus on the high end homes, like in the high millions? And
We've done $1.5 million is our biggest.
Okay.
Yeah, $1.5 million. I would. It just takes so much more capital, right? You just place in way more money. Your rehabs are bigger. Now you're like 200,000, 300,000, 400,000 in rehab. Your holding costs are 10, 15 grand a month per project. It just takes a lot more capital. So just the risk reward for me. And I haven't seen it work out where I'm making multiple six figures on the deal. Like if I'm putting up $500,000 of capital, you know, like I'd like to see at least a return of 150 to 200 grand. And I have found that they could be $100,000 rips or they could be $75,000 rips. So like for me, I'd rather go do 2 at 500,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's just longer projects, right? You start getting a 3,500, 4,000 square foot house. You're reconfiguring it. You're doing a bunch of stuff, and then you're dealing with a different buyer that has a different attention to detail. So now it's got to be meticulous and it's got to be perfect, which is fine. Like I enjoy giving that kind of product, but there's no room for error at that point.
And then what's the ROI for an investor that invests in you in like these projects? Like what's a return on investment?
10%.
Okay.
Yeah, they get 10%.
That's good.
Yeah. I guarantee 10% of return for anybody that places money with me. I haven't needed money in a long time, so like I don't necessarily raise capital much anymore. But like if someone wants to get on individual projects because we align, like if I like them, if like I got one guy right now that just generally wants to just get in the game. He's got about $100,000, and I'll do a deal with him, and I'll give him 20% of whatever we make. I probably won't pay him 10%. I'll give him 20% of the profit on the deal, just because.
Wow. And would you say what's the turnaround for that if he does
6 months? I tell everybody 6 months.
Wow.
So if he's willing to put up 100, I'll probably return 20 grand to him in 6 months, which is phenomenal.
Where
It's
else
a
can you get
no-brainer.
that?
It's a no-brainer.
Where else? I mean,
Nowhere.
I'm trying to even think of like with
Yeah.
the volatile stock market. I'm trying to think of bonds.
Yeah.
Bonds
It's
is the
hard.
most guaranteed thing right now, but
Yeah.
that's still like what 4%,
Yeah.
5%, depending on what it is,
Yeah.
and that's also like in a 12-month span. Like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's amazing. 20% on that.
It's huge. Yeah. So it just depends, you know. I only do that for people that are like coming into my world
Yeah.
though. Like I don't it's rare that I need a bunch of money anymore. So it's I just don't I have enough capital raised. I'll never scale back to 20 projects.
What's the highest you've gotten from one investor?
3.5 million.
Where the heck do you get these investors? I need to change my circle.
Yeah. Yeah. One time I had 3.5 million out on one guy. He's actually my business partner now. So that's why I say I don't need a bunch of money anymore. So when things got bad, he was the guy that took 100% of the hit. We were partnering before that, but when he goes, I'm going to take 100% of the hit. Like he could have easily said, no, I want all my money. And I would have gone, he would have taken every ounce of dollar that I had in the bank to make it right. So when he did that, it solidified, like I'll do whatever he ever needs. Genuine friend to this day. I'd go to war for him. I'd protect his family like they were mine.
Gosh,
I'd
damn.
show up and take on hell.
This interview went so well, I hardly even looked at the questions. Let's start the interview right now. So
That's good. No, but that's the relationships we're looking for in life, isn't it? That's what it's all about. Like if we're looking for genuine relationships that we care about others, like, I mean, that's why we're here. You know?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I like that as well, because when you build relationships with people, it's just it has a different feel. And especially in this conniving and evil world, you cherish and value it so much, because you realize, wow, like you really are a very unique and anomaly, and I'd go and do anything for you and for you as well. So I'm glad you found those. I'm glad you saw it in yourself. And what advice would you give people to try and get those genuine relationships?
Oh, you have to be genuine. Like vulnerability is everything. You have to be genuine. You have to be real. You have to be about it. Like it's crazy. Like I don't even know how much more time we have, but like for me, I come from a background of like where my family were my brothers. It was people that I was doing illegal stuff with, people that I was running life differently. So like you like had a legit bond. You would literally go to war for each other, right? If one dude was in a fight, you all were in a fight. And I hate to relate that to this, but it's that vulnerability, that sacrifice, even in today's so that's how I value my relationships. Am I willing to go put my life on the line for someone else? And if it is, that's a relationship that I care about. But it only comes by being authentic and vulnerable and real and having authentic conversations. It's not about me winning on him and him winning on me. It's about how can we help each other win and level up and get where we want to go. It's a true brotherhood, right? So it's about that brotherhood that I look for. So if I can't have that, then I'm not about it. Like I suck at small talk. I just want genuine relationships. So I find myself going deeper in conversation faster. And then if it just doesn't match, it doesn't match. And we can be acquaintances and love each other and, but it doesn't, but we just would never be close, right? And as men, we're looking for genuine relationships that are close, because a lot of times as men, we feel like we have to have this facade, but that's not true. Like
It was so much of ego. I got to show up to be something I'm not. I got to be able to try and drive the cars that I can't even afford. Like to try and live a lifestyle that try and portray something that It's just.
I drive a '98 Silverado, right? And people make fun of me all the time. I have one buddy who goes, "You're the richest bro." He goes, "You're the brokest rich dude I know." It's the greatest compliment in the world. It's the greatest compliment. My overhead at my house is ridiculously low. People laugh. Like I just live. I live a simple life, man. I enjoy that. I know what it's like to be broke.
Beat you, though, Warren Buffett.
Oh yeah, dude.
So
yeah.
I don't think you can what I'm saying. He's the only person I can say beats you.
Yeah,
he has his 3-bedroom and no.
I know that's true. I got a nice house. Yeah, that's true. But it's guys like that I learned from, man. It's guys like that. Like I don't want to be the flashy guy. I never have been. I just want to be myself. Show up, be me, and then whoever that resonates with, I'm happy with. And if it doesn't resonate, I'm okay with that.
So Matt, every time I conclude and ask all my guests this one thing, it's the last and final one, because I say the code to winning insights you need today to seize the world tomorrow. In your definition, what does the term winning mean for you?
first thing that comes to my mind is relationship with God. But I don't, I'm not like winning in life is having a relationship with God and knowing that your time here is not forever. So just get right with Him. So when you're done, and you're going to the right spot. But then I would, if I was talking like a worldly winning, I think the relentless pursuit of something that excites you. Like I don't necessarily know if it's about achieving or monetary value. It's something worth living for on a daily basis, something worth creating. Relationships, family, being productive in society, a business that provides the lifestyle that you want. It's about living with purpose and never losing sight of that purpose.
Wow.
Having something to live for that's greater than yourself.
Powerful. Wow. If you could let our viewers know where they could get a hold of you, if they want to try and get in a coaching program, learn on your courses and like Instagram handle, social media, whatever it may be. And I'll leave the description. I'll leave titles in the description section as well regarding that as well.
Instagram, I am Matt Chick. Facebook, Matt Chick. Those are going to be the easiest ways to find me. I suck at all the other platforms. I'm still figuring that out. But Instagram's phenomenal, or Facebook, Matt Chick, or I am Matt Chick on Instagram.
Awesome stuff.
Yep.
The code of winning insights you need today to seize the world tomorrow. The man, the myth, the very legend himself, Matt Chick, baby. Let's go.
That was fun, baby. That was fun, dude. I loved it. Thanks for having me.